Have you ever wondered what would happen if you suddenly felt a crushing pain in your chest and there was no one around to help you? It's a frightening thought, I know. But it's something that far too many seniors experience every year. I've treated dozens of patients who told me the same thing afterward. Dr. Alfredo, I never imagined it would happen to me. And I had no idea what to do. The truth is, a heart attack doesn't always give you time to call for help or wait for someone to come running. When you're alone, every second counts, and what you do in the first few moments can literally become the difference between life and death. That's why, today, I want to give you something far more powerful than medication. I want to give you knowledge, the kind of knowledge that allows you to stay calm, take control, and survive them if you're completely alone. I'll walk you through 8 life-saving steps that every senior should know. These steps don't require any special equipment or medical training. They simply require the ability to remember and act. So, let's get started, because nothing is more important than your life. And I want to make sure you're fully prepared if this situation ever happens to you. The very first step is simple, but it's exactly where most people fail. Imagine you suddenly feel a heavy pressure right at the center of your chest. It's not stabbing pain, just a weight that slowly gets worse. Many people tell themselves, it's probably indigestion. I'll keep moving. But that decision is where things go wrong. The very first thing you must do is stop whatever you're doing and sit down in a safe place. Don't walk to the kitchen, don't try to reach downstairs, and please don't lie flat on the floor. Just find the nearest secure seat with back support, like a chair or a sofa. Sit down, and keep your back supported. By doing this, you prevent falls, keep your circulation stable, and buy yourself precious time to react clearly. A patient of mine, Mr. Galvez, once told me that sitting down immediately was the only reason he didn't collapse. So remember, the moment the symptoms begin, stop and sit. It might sound too basic, but it saves countless lives. Now, once you're safely seated, it's time for step number 2. And this one is incredibly powerful. Chew an aspirin, not swallow. Chewing an aspirin allows the medication to enter your bloodstream much faster, helping to dissolve the clot that's blocking the arteries. If you have a 100 milligrams tablet of aspirin at home, chew it thoroughly and let it dissolve in your mouth. I've seen patients arrive with almost no damage to their heart, simply because they remembered to do this. Keep a small box of aspirin somewhere, visibly on top of the refrigerator, next to your chair, or in your bedroom drawer. Never hide it in a cabinet behind 10 other things. It should be easy to reach, especially in a stressful moment. Of course, if you are allergic to aspirin or suffer from ulcers, skip this step and move immediately to the next one. But if you can take it, chewing an aspirin could make the difference between staying conscious and losing precious minutes of survival time. Once you've done that, step number 3 must happen quickly. Call emergency services. And here's the critical part. Give your full address immediately. Don't wait for questions. As soon as the operator answers, clearly state your name and your exact location. Something like, my name is Luis Martinez. I'm at 12 Cedar Street, apartment 4B. I'm having chest pain and shortness of breath. Why is this so important? Because heart attacks can cause loss of consciousness without any warning. If that happens before you've said where you are, the responders won't know where to find you. So speak slowly, clearly, and give the information first. Then you can answer any questions they ask. Don't exaggerate and don't downplay it, just stay calm and be direct. Think of it like reading from a script. Practice saying your address now and again, even when you're feeling well. It might feel silly, but someday it could save your life. Immediately after calling, Step number 4 is to make sure help can actually reach you. That means opening your front door or leaving the key or access code in a visible place. I know many people hesitate because they're afraid someone might take advantage. But in that moment, your life is worth more than any object in your home. If you have a keypad, write the code on a sheet of paper and place it near the front entrance. If you use a regular key, leave it under the mat or in a flower pot right outside the door where paramedics can see it easily. Remember, if emergency workers arrive and the door is locked, they lose precious minutes trying to enter, and those minutes could be the difference between your heart recovering or being permanently damaged. So please don't wait. Once the call has been made, make your home accessible for help. Let's pause for just a moment. Notice how none of these steps require advanced training or fancy machines. They're simple, but they must be done in the right order and without hesitation. Sitting down, chewing aspirin, calling immediately, and opening the door, these can all be done in less than 2 minutes. And those 2 minutes can quietly determine whether your heart keeps beating normally or whether it slows down and stops. Now that we've covered these first crucial actions, let's continue with the next step you must take to keep the heart and brain supplied with oxygen. Because once the paramedics have been alerted and your home is accessible, your next priority is to help your heart and brain keep receiving blood and oxygen as efficiently as possible. That brings us to step number 5, and this one is often forgotten, even by people who think they're prepared. You need to gently recline your body at a 45-degree angle, using a chair or sofa for back support, and if possible, slightly raise your legs on a pillow or cushion. This isn't just about comfort. It's about easing the pressure on your heart, while making sure your brain continues to get enough oxygen. If you lie completely flat, fluid can build up in the lungs and make breathing harder. If you sit too upright, the heart has to work harder to pump blood upward. That's why this 45-degree position is so important. It gives your circulatory system a little helping hand. I always tell my patients, imagine your body like a gentle slope, not a hill and not a valley. That slope keeps everything flowing. Now that you're in that safe and stable position, it's time for step number 6, and this one involves your loved ones. Send a brief text message to at least 2 or 3 family members or close friends. Not a phone call, a text. Talking requires effort, and during a heart attack, even a few sentences can increase your heart rate and make you feel lightheaded. So type just one short, clear message. Something like having heart attack symptoms, called emergency, going to hospital, then send it to more than one person. That way, if one is sleeping or busy, someone else will still receive it and act. I once had a patient whose daughter rushed to the hospital after seeing a simple 3-line message. She arrived almost at the same time as the ambulance. And later she told me, if he had tried to explain everything over a phone call, he probably would have passed out before finishing the sentence. So don't worry about details in that moment. A short message is enough. Once the message is sent, your job is to stay calm and help your heart reduce its workload. That leads us directly into step number 7. Control your breathing. Breathe in slowly through your nose while counting to 4 in your mind, and then exhale gently through your mouth while counting to 6. Try to breathe from your belly, not your chest. Your abdomen should rise slightly as you inhale. Some people like to make a soft whom or she sound as they exhale, because it helps them stay focused and calm. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Just breathe slowly, smoothly, and steadily. Every slow breath tells your body, we are safe. Stay calm, and that message keeps your heart beating in a more stable rhythm. Whether you're at home, in an elevator, or sitting in the hallway waiting for help to arrive, This conscious breathing helps gain valuable time. And finally, when you feel you've settled into a rhythm of calm breathing, move into step number 8, which is a little less known but incredibly powerful in those last crucial moments. With your thumb, press the inside of your wrist right where you can feel your pulse. Hold that pressure and take a deep breath. Then cough hard 3 times in a row. This controlled coughing generates a brief surge of pressure inside your chest that helps keep the blood flowing through the heart. At the same time, pressing your pulse point can help regulate the heart's rhythm. Think of it as giving your body a quick reset, so the heart keeps functioning long enough for help to arrive. It's not a replacement for medical attention, of course, but it's an effective emergency tool that can buy you a few more precious minutes when you're alone and waiting. Now take a moment and imagine yourself calmly moving through those steps, not panicking, not hesitating, just acting like someone who is prepared. Sitting down immediately, chewing the aspirin, calling emergency, opening the door, reclining safely, sending a short message, breathing slowly, pressing your wrist and coughing 3 times, 8 simple actions, no machines, no complicated science, just knowledge.com and determination. That is the difference between surrendering and surviving. Some people might say, but Alfredo, I'm already 70. If this happens to me, I'll probably panic. And I always respond the same way. Panic comes from not knowing what to do. Preparation creates calm. The more familiar you are with these steps, the more natural they will feel, even in a frightening moment. It's just like learning to drive a car. The first time, you think about every tiny movement, but after a while, it becomes automatic. The same is true here. Practice them. Say them out loud. Even write them on a piece of paper and place it on the refrigerator or next to your bed. Every time you see that note, remind yourself that you are prepared. Because being alone does not mean being helpless. You still have power. You still have control. And even if your heart surprises you one day, you will not be caught unprepared. You'll take a deep breath and calmly start step 1, then step 2, then step 3. And before you know it, a paramedic will be at your door and your heart will still be beating strong. Now, let's talk about something equally important, what you can start doing today, before any emergency ever happens, to reduce your chances of having a heart attack in the first place. Because the best way to survive a heart attack is to make sure it never happens in the first place. And the good news is that you don't need expensive treatments, complicated diets, or harsh exercise programs to protect your heart. Over the past 40 years, I've seen hundreds of seniors remain strong and healthy well into their 80s and 90s. Simply by adopting 3 simple daily habits. These are not theories or internet tips. They are real practices from real people who still walk, laugh, and enjoy life every single day. The first habit is almost ridiculously simple. Walk for 30 minutes every day. You don't need to run or lift weights. You don't even need to walk fast. What matters is that you get up and move, even if it's just around your neighborhood, a nearby park, or inside your own home when the weather isn't great. Your heart is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it needs gentle and consistent movement to stay strong. I have a patient named Ernesto who is 82. Every morning at 6 a.m., he puts on his shoes and walks around his block. Nothing fancy. No fancy shoes or music. Just the sound of his footsteps and the morning air. His last checkup showed a heart almost 20 years younger than his actual age. And when I asked him what his secret was, he simply smiled and said, "I never stopped walking." I truly believe one of the most loving things you can do for your body is to take it for a walk every day. The second habit is equally important and far more powerful than most people realize. Reduce salt consumption as much as possible. Salt may seem harmless, but in high quantities, it silently increases blood pressure, hardens your arteries, and puts extra strain on your heart. Many seniors eat far more salt than they need without noticing it, not because they add too much at the table, but because processed foods are full of hidden sodium. Instant soups, canned vegetables, frozen meals, deli meats, these are loaded with salt even before you taste them. Switching from processed foods to natural foods, fresh vegetables, fruits, beans, homemade meals can dramatically improve your heart health in a short amount of time. It's normal to feel that food tastes bland in the beginning, but after a few weeks, your taste buds actually reset, and you begin enjoying flavors in a completely new way. One of my patients, Rosario, once told me, "Now when I taste salty food, I can't stand it anymore. It feels heavy." That's because her body adapted to real, natural flavor, and her blood pressure has been stable ever since. And the third habit, the one most people resist, and the one that brings the biggest change: quit smoking and alcohol completely, regardless of your age. I can't count the number of times someone has told me, "But doctor, I'm already 70. Isn't it too late to stop?" No, it's never too late. Your heart appreciates every improvement, no matter when it happens. Mr. Carlos, one of my oldest patients, stopped smoking at age 70 after half a century of cigarettes. He thought nothing would change. 6 months later, he was climbing the stairs in his building again without getting out of breath. He was sleeping better. His heart was beating like a drum again. Our bodies are extraordinary. They can recover and repair even after years of damage if we give them the chance. Quitting isn't about depriving yourself. It's about giving yourself the opportunity to live longer, to dance at your granddaughter's wedding, to wake up without chest tightness, to enjoy mornings without coughing. Now take a moment and imagine your life 1 year from today. You've learned the 8 life-saving steps. You've practiced them. Maybe you even wrote them on a sheet of paper and taped it to the fridge, where you can see it every day. You walk a little every morning. You eat a bit less salt. You put the cigarettes and alcohol behind you. Can you feel how much stronger and calmer your heart will be? It's not a dream. It's a very real possibility, and all it takes is a decision. Please remember, being alone does not mean you are powerless. You are prepared. You have knowledge. And knowledge saves lives. So from now on, when that little voice of fear appears, whisper back to it, "I know what to do, and I'm going to survive." If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you already taken one of these steps, or are you planning to start today? Let me know. I read every comment. And if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more practical, life-saving advice made especially for seniors like you. Take good care of yourself. Stay active, stay calm, and always remember you still have so many beautiful moments ahead of you.